Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EU4. Again, with something different today. But just first, quick note, as you can hear, I sound, how can I say this without getting demonetized? A sack of Richards. As such, please forgive my voice. If there's some random cutting or anything, that's because I'm trying not to sound like Typhoid Brown Dog 2 coughing directly into your ears. Without further ado, what are we doing here today? Today we're checking out another one of the Titan mods of EU4. That is Europa Expanded, Missions Expanded. It's had a couple of names, but essentially it gives a whole bunch of new trees to pretty well every nation you can think of, or that matters, or that you'll bother to play. Obviously, they have the hot stuff right up here, and then some of the older stuff all the way out. Oh man, they even like redid Indonesia. But today I want to play as the Pope, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's been a minute since I played as Pope, but I want to play as the Pope. Let's take a peek at some of our. Oh my, this is different. Okay, so I can choose either the Paradox missions or the Europa Expanded missions, and yeah, we're gonna go with the fancy branching missions from Missions Expanded. So, what do we have to do today? Build up an army. Oh my gosh, there's so many places this mission tree can start. Gotta do some nepotism. That's awesome. We have to sell indulgences. Why do I feel like we're gonna be like the bad guys? Renaissance Pope. There's going to be significantly less reading today, as you can imagine when I sound like this. So, let's start by rivaling the Florentines. That will get me a permanent claim on the Tuscany area and some power projection. Let's just get going and see what happens. Oh my gosh. There's unique estate interactions. That is cool. We are so controlled by the clergy. Let's open with seizing land back from the clergy, get strong duchies, free enterprise to the burghers, private trade fleets, and commercial advisory board. And for the nobility, right of council, I'm almost willing to take supremacy over the papacy just because I don't think the clergy can ever overthrow me because they love me too much. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh boy, and immediately hit with factionalism in Rome. If you want, give this a read. You have about 3 seconds to just pause the video. To Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. All right, if you didn't read, sorry, we're moving on. Essentially, it is one massive feud between the two families. Is it under the government tab by chance? Yes, yes, it is. We can't let it lean too far. However, does anybody give any bonuses? No, we want it dead in the center. Fantastic. Oh, and we have already improved relation with the Crusaders enough to get contacting the Crusaders event or mission, which they will both be asked to become our vassals. Uh, of course, we will take them or try and get them as our vassals. Hopefully, they take us up on that. The knights did. Cyprus unfortunately did not. Fair enough. Fantastic, and we have raised the Papal Guard, which will give us some morale of armies, wars from battles, a lot of other minor bonuses. Of course, we really can't take advantage of going into North Italy as it's in the Holy Roman Empire. Well, besides Bologna, look, little baby Bologna, who's allied to Florence. Uh, but actually, it's a thing that I should worry about getting allies. And we can't go south at the moment because Naples is still independent, though they should be getting they're still under Aragon, but we should hope they get independence at some point. We also completed taking up the torch at some point, which will give us religious diplomats will give us an extra 20 opinion, and we'll gain a stab. Oh, as well, we also get the fate of Avignon event because we have made friends with France. So let's see what we have going here. If you want to read this, you're more than welcome to. We can now preview the alliance with France branch. So we could get the French Papal Guard. which will give us okay things, mutual economic benefit, solidify French relations, and France would let me do some stuff, or the conquest branch, which would involve the conquest of Provence, development of the Palace of the Popes, conquering southern France, and expanding French holdings. Basically saying we're going to conquer all of France, which, well ambitious, certainly sounds a lot more fun. And we have minus 10% aggressive expansion impact. Oh boy. I'm sure that this will be good for Catholicism. Oh my god. I don't know what happened, but Bohemia is already an Austrian PU. I looked away for a minute and they're already under the thumb of the Habsburgs. That's concerning. Well, I'm glad the Austrians are on my side. But ooh, interesting. So because Naples is now independent, and before it gets an alliance with anybody, we're just gonna pop south immediately, and we should be able to run over the Neapolitan forces pretty well. Gonna open by decking for Napoli. Let them come up, sit on Rome, reattach with my little dudes, and basically keep them trapped just for a moment before we go and burn them down. We've also apparently completed another mission. Because we have improved our relations with our vassals so much, we get a bunch of permanent claims as well as 50 diplomatic power and their land annexed immediately. This gives me all of the troops directly, which is very convenient. I'm sorry, and we completed another mission. Oh, the selling of indulgences. Which, if you want to read, please do so now. Fantastic. We essentially have the choices that only we can sell indulgences, which I'm assuming is money generation. We could let all Catholic theocracies sell indulgences, or we could ban selling indulgences and slow down Catholic reform desire. Can I see reform desire? I think we're going to try and sandbag the Catholic reform desire, as well as this gives me negative yearly corruption, which is very powerful. Saves me a bit of money. We're going to try and reform the church as to not have to deal with the Protestants at all. Anyway, let's crush the Neapolitan army. Beautiful stack wipe. So we're going to take most of the land and then the rest as ducats. We get a no real coalition. And leave Naples with essentially the south of the boot, but there's not too much dev down there that I care about. And we get a bunch of money. Oh, and Naples, that's really funny. So I broke my alliance with Aragon, allied with Castile, and then Castile's asked me to join the war against Aragon and Naples. So this is gonna let me reinvade Naples to reset the truce. That's awesome. Alrighty, well, that was kind of dirty and not my intention, but it works. And we're gonna shut down that straight crossing, and yep, we won't be able to take this all in this war, but that's really funny. And it seems like for my help, Spain just pieced out and gave me essentially the rest of the boot besides the OPM that is Naples. Now I do have a minor possible coalition, but I will happily take southern Italy for that. Shame that we couldn't get the last one, but that's worth a throwaway war. That also means we've completed another mission, the Southern Frontier. We essentially are going to get some base tax. So we're just going to take the free 2 base tax and get it to a tier 2. Wow, and Austria, I was just about to stop recording. Austria just managed to clean up all of Hungary too. That is insane. It has been 6 years, and already Bohemia and Hungary have fallen under the Habsburg spell. Uh, Something tells me there's a monster in the north. A very, very Habsburg-shaped monster. So I noticed that France and Burgundy were jumping Provence, so I figured I would try my hand at getting in here and at least trying to pre-siege stuff so this doesn't all end up under French patrimony. While fighting Provence, we also stole some of their ships for overseas expansion, which gives us a bunch of claims over on the Levant as well as Thrace, which, you know what that means, we're going to do some crusading. Okay, now, another thing, while we're already dealing with the whole provincial uh, situation, it seems that the Ottomans are, one, distracted with Albania, as well as quite a large amount of rebels over in Anatolia. So, with Austria and their massive PUs, even if Bohemia isn't loyal, Hungary is, Austria is heavy in manpower, as is Hungary, whereas the Ottomans are flat out. Now the Ottomans are ahead in Miltech, but I'm willing to risk it, call in Austria, and set them to go and capture Sugla for me, which is a core for the Knights. And hopefully, they can save the war, save Christendom, something like that. Beautiful. From Provence, we're going to take all their money and the 2 provinces they owe. I think that will transfer us to Lorraine. No, Lorraine goes independent. Fantastic. But we cleaned up 2 of the 3 provinces we needed. We've really just been on the warpath. Yeah, we're running kind of high on AE. Just looking at the Ottomans, they do have a lot of morale and some discipline, but they don't look untouchable like they can get. Because what we wipe, they shouldn't be able to get back. They should be properly out of manpower. Austria, where are you running? We need to hold. Oh, you're running because we can't fight them. Yeah, I guess it's the discipline difference, or the discipline and the tactics difference. It's hurting so bad. Fight the Ottomans all over. They're all the way up to 7 war exhaustion, so they really don't want to be here. Even though technically we're losing. The Ottomans basically don't have an army anymore. They're down to 6K. Don't send the mercs to de-siege that, and then we just push into the Ottomans again. I think the combination war against Albania and us was just enough to tucker them out. But I can't count on them being dead yet. And now the Ottomans should be much more willing to come to terms. And we're going to take something like this, where we get basically the entire Central Sea of Marmara, 840 ducats, and more reps. That is absolutely disgusting, but we're going to use that money to embrace the Reformation, or not the Reformation, the Renaissance, which will give us the Renaissance papacy, which by extension will give us the Vatican Library, which gives us a buff either for admin tech and national rest, diplo rep and diplo tech cost, or infantry combat ability and null tech. Huh. Well, we already have as much diplo rep as we want. Having tech cost minus 5% isn't great. Infantry combat ability, eh? Yeah, sure. That sounds like fun. Let's go on the warpath even harder. Speaking of going on the warpath, we're gonna deck on Byzantium essentially immediately after, because that's a one province minor Byzantium with a lot of cores that I want. Oh, good. And the Shadow Kingdom has been brought up, and the Emperor is favoring pulling out of Italy, so soon I'll be able to run Hogwell through North Italy. And speaking of running Hogwell through North Italy, I mean, with the excommunicated ruler CB, I could call on Austria to go beat up Venice for me, and Venice wouldn't stand a chance. How much land would Austria want out of that? Hmm. Well, that looks pretty free, if you ask me. And it would give me a chance to seize Constantinople. Excommunicated ruler for Constantinopolis. Yes, sir. Alrighty, fantastic. I'll sick the Austrian dogs on Venice, apparently. Oh, although it does mean that I will probably lose out on Byzantium to the Turks. Oh well. That's a fair trade if you ask me. Oh god, and the Iberian wedding is already fired and made Aragon a vassal of Castile. That happened scarily quick. Alrighty, so from Venice, we will seize Constantinople, Ravenna, Treviso, Padova, Venezia itself, and war reps. Beautiful excommunication war. Does give me, again, a fair amount of aggressive expansion, but that's what it's there for. Go on to rival the Ottomans. Okay. Now I need to immediately run south. I have to do a couple things. We can now release Byzantium as vassal because, oh boy. And for my new Italian land, we're just going to court all and do our best to keep Venice ours. Okay, really funny. Just noticed Venice's new capital, all the way down in Corinth. Um, as well, we are breaking even. Yeah, we're making bank thanks to now owning Venice itself. Wow, we really pulled off one hell of a heist there. Who knew excommunicating people was so powerful? Oh, wow, I can excommunicate France. Well, we're going to excommunicate France because that's funny. And we eventually need to fight a war against France. And thanks to a couple of development events, we managed to get the Jewel of Southern Italy event, or mission finished, which means that the grand project in Napoli is better. Uh, which will eventually will get us a extra possible advisor and power projection from insults. And also, just by doing a bit of deving around, we've also got developed the Palace of the Popes, which is going to give us just some local tax modifier and a point cardinal cost in Avignon, make our clergy happy, and give us some more claims in France. Beautiful. Now, perhaps, conquering all of Provence and all of Aquitaine or Gascony is ambitious. Slightly less ambitious than taking over all of France, but we're working on it. We got a claim on Ragusa. The Ottomans aren't willing to help, so I'm just gonna seal it because it's free real estate. Oh, and Ragusa has fallen to us. So we will simply take the land, all the money. I mean, that's the Adriatic Sea is practically papist. Sure, surely. Oh wow. Okay, and that's very convenient. Our truce with Naples is up. Genoa isn't willing to defend them, but Lucca and Bosnia are. All directions I want to expand in. I'm actually going to make Bosnia a co-belligerent so that I can go and fight the two of them. This is a decently sized war, but I should be able to divide and conquer quite easily. So just chain this war into the next. We're going to start by going up and burning Lucca to the ground. I'm so glad that Byzantium is here to get run over for my benefit. To get Lucca to Pisa, we're just going to take their only piece of land and all of their money. We've now built enough churches that we are a land of cathedrals that will distribute 5 admin dev and give us a cheaper advisor. And after giving some privileges to the clergy, we create a holy state, or we complete a holy state, which gives us access to the religious orders and 50 administrative power. So now, yes, oh man, we are positively busted. So let's get some Benedictines around here. The sweet goods produce modifier. Actually, that admin power is really expensive. So not that like I don't want the benefit, it's just admin power is definitely the hardest to come by at the moment. From Bosnia, we're going to take everything. We are starting to garner quite a coalition. And to that I say humbug. Alright, instead of doing something tremendously gross to the Serbs, I'm just going to steal their gold mine in Kosovo and send them on their way. I'll take their money. And yeah. And lastly, against Naples, we will just take the last province they have. Beautiful. That's really funny. I've also, by taking out loans to try and get Spain out of debt, I have managed to complete the apostolic camera, which will make the treasury advisor more efficient and give us some national tax.
Are you enjoying watching peak Battle Pope content? Then click the subscribe button and leave a comment and all the other YouTube pleasantries. Alrighty, back to your video.
Okay, I'm going to make a massive gamble that sending Castile enough money to pay off most of their loans will encourage them, hopefully, on a month tick to pay them mostly off. Yes, so they're willing to come in and help me fight France. So between Castile and Burgundy, definitely can beat up France. I can get the province I need of Aish. The Ottomans won't join, so this will let me break the Ottoman-French alliance. The Venetians won't join, which is just to my benefit. And we get to, where was that revolt? That's fine. And we get to break France down just a little bit. This should be an absolute roll with the amount of manpower we're levying against the French now. And if I play my cards right, I should get my money back tenfold because France has the dosh. You know, France is pretty strong, but they're not strong enough to fight 3 major powers all at once, well diplomatically isolating them by consistent excommunications. With admin tech 5, we get national ideas. And our first national idea is going to be, and we're going to go with quality, just because even the vote bonuses aren't that bad. You know, seeing as the Papal War Machine doesn't stop, I've actually been given a really slick chance here to deck on Florence, because Burgundy can't help them because they're my ally, and I actively have them involved in the war. So while they go and clean up France, I might use this as a chance to go and burn down Florence. Just want to make sure I have my army basically standing right next to them so I can instantly walk onto them. And deck for Florence itself. Oh, and Austria is going in on the Ottomans. Before we go in on the Ottomans with Austria, I'm just going to set a bunch of land to be desired. See if we can't get anything out of this war. Since we're going to be enabling it and all. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. Alrighty. And then we'll join them. Now, part of my concern as I'm running around here is that I am essentially feeding Mega Castile and Mega Austria instead of as I extinguish, France and the Ottomans, which definitely could be a concern. And my solution to that is I'm just not going to think about it at all. Just gonna plug my ears and go la 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 la. And the Ottomans just have a peasant war, so I think that Austrian war is gonna be pretty open and shut. Okay, so against Florence, well, specifically starting against Mantua, I'm not going to take their land yet. I'm just gonna white peace them, as they don't really have anything they desperately need. Against Florence themselves, I'm going to take the two provinces on the coast to hopefully block out the Spaniards. War reps break their alliance with Burgundy and slightly less money. Against France, well, first Brittany, we're going to set to take all of their money and war reps and send them on their way. Against France proper, we will take Aish. Anything else here to begin with? You know what? No, I will not take anything else from France. I don't want to actually make them so weak off the bat. I will make them give up their claims in Aragon and Savoy, though, and make sure that they give up all their money. I don't think I'm going to get much of it. I got 40 ducats out of it, but we definitely hopefully stunted the big blue blob and can come back in the future. And then we can turn and give our full attention to the Ottomans. But that means that we get the fall of Florence, which, if you want to read it, you're more than welcome to. We can either get a cheaper loans or lose to corruption and get 3 base tax, which I might take that to do a free click of debased currency. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. We'll do that, and then I can use all of that to pay off the estate loans that I have. Take one more bad loan, pay off the last estate loan, and then I can take out new estate loans instead of the bad loans. And that's what I call Florentine banking. Oh, as well, I forgot to mention, we also completed the conquest of Provence, which means we can either focus on Avignon, which will create a level 2 center for trade in Avignon, and will basically just steal dev from this province. Or we can make the Rhone estuary even cheaper to develop. I'm gonna make Avignon have a better center of trade, because that's just going to give us more center of trades to work with. 10% dev modifier is nice, but neither of those are too crazy. Oh, beautiful. And however it works out, we are the first country in the world to get fasting, which means that we've managed to steal that from like Venice and the Ottomans and everyone else. And now Siena, which we just stole from Florence, is a beautiful seat of fasting in the world. See, that's what I was slightly worried about with France going in on Burgundy. If they get the full-on union, that could be a really big problem, especially because the current Emperor of the HRE isn't weak, but I mean, no, pretty weak, And while we are cleaning up in the Ottomans, we're also going to use our trusty ally Castile to do cleanup work on Venice. Let's deck for Moria. We'll also try and get Cyprus out of the deal. One thing I should be aware of is Castile will want to seize land in North Italy, but if they do, that's a whole different can of worms and a whole different can of kick-ass I'll have to open up. It really looks like Burgundy is turning around on France for the Unification War too, which is I think good, because the more they're divided, the easier for me to beat the piss out of them. Oh, and we actually get Prospering Times. Please be in a somewhat useful location. It is in Phrygia, which is actually right. That is possibly the most useful place this has ever been in. Huh. Yeah, let's get a local defense to plus 100%. Put a really good fort there. Yeah, yeah, sure. Put a castle down there, make it a really sick choke point. Oh, and our war against the Ottomans is finished, and let's see what we get. I did leave it up to Austria to do. Ottomans will cede Vinen. Yeah, so they ceded northern Bulgaria to Austria. Two provinces to me, Skiop and Iskandora. Don't know where that is. A bunch of land to Byzantium. Yes, they did. And beautiful. We got some money and a little bit of aggressive expansion and a lot of stuff. It also means we can complete the mission, restore the Latino Crata, which, again, if you want to read this, you're more than welcome to, but either we can change Byzantium into the Latin Empire, or we could basically give our Pope +1 to each monarch point and up the development of the Hagia Sophia. We are going to change Byzantium into the Latin Empire because it looks cool. Now they are a Catholic bishopric. Out of interest, okay, they do just inherit the Byzantine mission tree. Fair enough. But they still keep all their cores too, right? Yes, beautiful. So, there's that, and also, base Latin Empire. Oh, sweet. And I heard about this, but I didn't know for certain. So, because Bulgaria has so many cores that Austria can take advantage of, they actually released it as a vassal, which is cool. Um, that's fun. That's a good thing about this mod. Actually makes the AI think a little. I'm sure it can cause some interesting problems, but more interesting than that. Wow, I just realized how many cores we had, or claims we had. Weakness in our neighbors is fired, which uh, certainly is unique. I don't know what this does, but seeing the fact that the Ottomans are being decked on by 3 different people and have at least 30,000 rebels right there, um, it's good to see them burn. Against Venice, we're going to take essentially everything we could want. More importantly, there's a bunch of Byzantine rebels, hopefully still burning their land down, so they might flip to us. We also have completed the mission, the Palace of the Doges, because we've taken enough land up in this region. It is going to increase the development of the monument of the Doge's Palace by 1, give us a bunch of prosperity in the state of Venice, lose 20 lose 20 devastation in Venice. You can give us some other minor bonuses. More importantly, we can also mend the schism. So all of the Orthodox churches or Orthodox nations will be asked to flip to the Catholic Church. I'm not sure how many of them I actually expect to say yes. If we're lucky, maybe Wallachia in Serbia. Probably not Muscovy. And we might actually take a moment to have a breather and what's that? We're gonna throw Poland and Lithuania against the Mamluks. Actually, am I gonna do that? Let me make sure. Uh, yeah, I think I'm gonna go throw Poland and Lithuania against the Mamluks. So I'm gonna send Poland and its vassal horde in there to go and conquer me Jerusalem. I do have a claim on Alkids. Yes, we do. All right, fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna go and send them in to go and get me Jerusalem. Sick 'em, boys. Oh wow, yeah, I think Serbia is gonna flip Catholic, just based on how many Catholic zealots are currently there. And Wallachia probably will too. Albania probably will too. That's nuts. That's so many Catholic zealots. Fantastic. And because we have won enough battles and have a large enough army, we can now reform the guard, which will give us some infantry cost, yearly army tradition, 5% army professionalism, and some base manpower in Rome. And we can also bonuses because there's monastic orders that are happy with us, which will give us some mill power, and clergy and officer corps, which will give our leaders cheaper and more manpower in true faith provinces. Oh, and actually, because we have so many mercenaries, we have completed the condottieri, or the condottieri, which gives our mercs more powerful, more manpower, uh, and just makes them less manpower or uh, army professionals intensive, which is good because we're about to use arcs to win this war. More importantly, we have a massive navy that can, because it has 9 heavies, basically force the Mamluks to stay in dock. And since they can't move very quickly around the Levantine coast, we can do as we want pretty well unopposed. Alrighty, well, the Bulls just dipped on a white piece between me and the Mamluks, which is fine. I mean, they were just getting their stuff pushed in. Just means that, like, we've made it all the way down to Jerusalem, and the Poles are skipping before the fun can really begin. Also, wow, the Ottomans just detonated like into a gazillion pieces. And the Austrians just balkanized Venice too. Wow, that's so gross for so many reasons. For my second major idea group, oh boy, um, do I go with classic innovative ideas just because they're fantastic? I mean, we are playing Pope. I could do religious ideas, considering we're actively invading the Middle East. Yeah, now let's go religious ideas, just because they're mean. Not useful, just neat. Wow, and yeah, the Ottomans have fallen off hard. They had to abandon Anatolia. Um, that's insane. I've never seen this. I imagine it comes from the mod, but that's you, you really get to detonate the Ottomans if you want, huh? That's a mess. Can't wait to have to carve through that. Oh, and you, ooh, oh, and I could, but no, I gotta worry about the Mamluks first, and I gotta go put down some revolts. And with the siege of Cairo, we have managed to capture the Muslim caliph, who we can either keep hostage, we can execute him, we can have him serve the Pope, or we can leave him be. We will take him to Rome and antagonize every Sunni nation just because it is funny. Now, I'm not sure that we can do anything with him right now, but I know that there is a mission relevant to him, the fate of Islam, which actually we may be able to do it because we do have the Abbasid Caliph, Captain. If we can win the war fast enough, anyway. For fourth tier government form, we will be the head of the Catholic Church, so long as we are the defender of the faith. We get a myriad of buffs, which means it might be worth actually paying out of pocket for. That also means that we should be able to do Nepotismo. Let's just get a skill 2 military advisor. This slat will do, and we can complete the mission Nepotismo, which will give us 100 admin points, and we can, when we enter the Age of Reformation, we should be able to end Roman factionalism. Alrighty, beautiful. So from the Mamluks, we are going to be taking all of the Palestine region and most of the Syria region, most of what matters anyway. We're going to take it first directly to our name. Don't worry, that's going to let us complete the Cradle Christianity mission. which is going to upgrade a lot of buildings and give us more claims. And we are going to complete the mission to Jerusalem, which, if you want to read this, feel free to go ahead. We will, of course, give Jerusalem over to, the Crusaders of Jerusalem and make a new march out of it. Yes. Which, that is roads. First thing I'm going to do for Jerusalem is check their mission. Oh, sorry. And before all that, because we've completed Jerusalem and still have the Abbasid Caliph, we can now demand all Sunni nations convert to Catholicism, which, holy shit, I'm not sure if you saw that, but that just spawned Catholic zealots in all Sunni nations. I think it's time that we leave there. Does that mean, did the Tunis just converted, Morocco just converted, but people like Clemson didn't? Anybody else convert? Great Horde converted. Okay, all the countries I can't see over there, I'm assuming didn't convert, but that's impressive. Not sure how historical that is, but oh boy, that's certainly something. We're also going to hand Cyprus off to the Knights as well, because they have a mission for it. Let's just take a quick look at their missions. They will give me some power once I get them that. If we restore a bunch of forts, I will get some bonuses. Okay, so a lot of what happens is I get bonuses for helping them through their mission tree too. So it's like a secondary mission tree I can do. That's fun. They're not crazy, but they're certainly all right. Like, yeah, this would give me almost 500 ducats. How bad is my aggressive expansion actually? It's present. We're definitely gonna have some problems with it, but nothing that bad. So let's open up by actually just decking on. Actually, no, I probably want to wait for the Catholic zealots to settle for that. But yeah, we'll open by decking on somebody like Natasha, who did flip, just like that. Yeah, so I think a lot more of the Sunni kingdoms or Sunni bailiffs are going to flip, considering I can see that they each have at least 30,000 Catholic zealots. That's absolutely insane. The Mamluks probably won't. Well, I blew up a lot of their army. There's a fair chance they do flip over to being Catholic, which would be very funny. And just like that, the first Bailic, the Mentents, fall into line. We're going to give this on over to the Latin Empire. And really, most of this land is going to be given on over to the Latin Empire. We are going in on Greece next and essentially going to clean up them one at a time as we can. Ooh. Now, while we're at it, just walking on by, I might deck on Iodine and the Saurids just because I can too. It is a shame because a lot of them are now just good Catholic kingdoms, but we will make do. And the OPM Greece has fallen, and we deck war on Sarhan and then Iodine just to go clean them up. Iodine has already fallen. We're just going to hand all of this off to the Latin Empire, at least let them control, the two sides of the Aegean. And Sarahan wasn't far behind. Hand that off to the Latin Empire as well. Beautiful. Now we'll do a quick alliance out to the Swiss. Send the Swiss a small gift, which will let me form the Swiss Guard. Give me a decent group. Oh, I need to get to the Kingdom of God, understandably. Where is the Kingdom of God? Here it is. I need 5 more provinces in North Italy. And that's really it, huh? Oh, and I need 12 more provinces in Italy total, understandably. Okay. All right, I have a fantastically terrible idea. So I'm going to deck on Florence and call. Nope, Austria is now in debt. 1 second. Beautiful. Now they're guaranteed to join my war. So I'm going to call Austria to help me fight Ferrara, Mantua, and Bologna. Wonderful. Then, on the Musketek, I will deck on Genoa, who is an Austrian ally, so Austria can no longer join them, to take Genoese and Ferraran land. Oh, the things we do to get around alliances just to avoid having to fight that massive Austrian alliance block. Of course, Genoa is in the HRE, which I forgot, which is going to call in all of those little funny guys. So to avoid that, I'm going to use Castile and Poland, who's fighting another war. But how deep in debt are you, Poland? I was to send you 200 ducats. So let me just go and throw money at the Poles. And Poland is not using that. Unfortunate. Oh, yes, they are. So Poland and Castile will join me. We're going to use this to deck on North Italy. I do have to be careful because Castile does desire the land up here. But so long as I am just very aggressive in my sieges, I should be okay. And we will deck for Genova. Of course, all of this is going to result in just a whole lot of aggressive expansion if it does work out, but that's assuming this plan works in the first place, which is already way too many steps ahead. You know, I really don't know how Milan joined this war, considering they're not allied to anybody, but they did join on the side against me. Yeah, there's that, I guess. I just wish I knew how Milan got into the war. What I will do is take Bologna's only city. From Mantua, I will take their province. And just for reference, my aggressive expansion is, although not insane, well, it's getting up there. We're going to take 2 cities off of Milan, again, for a growing amount of aggressive expansion. Awesome. From Ferrara, we're going to take both of their provinces and all the money. And that does mean also from Genoa, we will take. You know what? I will leave them with the island of Lesbos, right where I can keep my eye on them, and kick them out of Italy. Well, besides the island, of course, I suppose. Again, an extreme amount of aggressive expansion, but when I am basically all of Italy in 1495, I don't really care. What are they going to do? Throw France at me? They've already tried that. That does mean that we've completed the mission consolidating northern Italy, although it does mean we're missing out on the Milano bonus. Will be fine. Aggressive expansion is just a number at this point anyway. To be able to complete the mission King of God, we're missing two. We're only missing one land because we're about to take, or one piece of land because we're about to take these 2 pieces of land from Florence, and then we're immediately going to turn around and deck on Saluzzo. Besides the fact we just completed the mission aiding the Umbrians, which is going to give us some minor benefits once we actually conquer that single nation state or single city state. We will be able to proclaim the King of God. And just for reference, this is what our aggressive expansion map looks like. Essentially, all of the Holy Roman Empire. France has 110. We've pissed off pretty well all of Catholic Europe. So now we also on the side are going to be decking on France with Poland just to start cycling them. So we'll deck for Montpellier. Almost as soon as we can. Hopefully France doesn't instantly join the coalition. So we're going to deck on France. And again, we don't necessarily plan on taking anything from France besides money. But it's just about keeping them down. Oh gosh, and we have so much overextension. Yeah, it's a little dire. Not to mention the coalition is growing somewhat aggressively. Oh, and yeah, just for the love of the game, we're going to reorganize the Dutch church because it seems like fun. If you want to read what this is doing, uh, feel free to do so. Pause, and it is gone. Fantastic. From Genoa, I don't want any of their land. I will just simply, actually, you know what? No, I do. I want you to give this, the island of Lesbos, over to the Latin Empire. Beautiful. And 100 ducats. Fantastic. So now Genoa is banished to Corsica. And from Saluzzo itself, we will simply take Saluzzo and all of its money. That will finally let me complete the mission, the Kingdom of God, which will let us enact the decision to declare the Kingdom of God. However, I do need to be at peace. So let's go finish this transport war real quick. Alrighty, first things first, in this transport, I am going to peace out Savoy. In a separate peace, take them as a vassal just so I can use their cores in the future, because they do have a healthy amount over Switzerland and Milan. As well, we are finally going to peace out France for 1,000 ducats, the two provinces in the south here, and war reps, which should really keep them stuck thinking. And perhaps what you've all been waiting for, we will declare the Kingdom of God. And this leaves us with a choice. We can either have the Battle Pope path, which will give us morale of armies plus 10%, yearly prestige, yearly devotion, more monarch admin skill, and just much general good buffs, or we can take the Peaceful Pope path, which is, well, probably interesting, not what we're going to do today. Because if you have a Battle Pope, you take the Battle Pope. Well, here, let's look at the missions because they also come with missions. So for the Battle Pope, we have, of course, vassalizing the orders, which will presumably give us a bunch of orders. Warrior Popes, I need to win 150 battles, have a very large army, and I can make the Pope to General, which will give me a bunch of monarch military skill. Let's see here, I need to have a bunch of discipline to get access to papal militarization, presumably similar to Prussian militarization. The Sword of Christ, which will, of course, make establishing the orders cheaper, and militarization of the knights, which will. So there's the fun path, or if you wanted to, let's look at the peaceful Pope path, where we could control the churches, we can excommunicate for benefits, send missions to non-Abrahamic faiths, call for grand crusades. We can gain more mana for those missions, and we can, all nations, all Catholic nations unlock the holy orders, which all of that does sound quite good, quite strong for like a general Catholic world. However, Battle Pope. Have we locked in? How do I lock in? Lock to current branch. Fantastic. And just like that, we have also declared the Kingdom of God. Very important. And we will take, of course, take a free monthly administrative power and administrative free policies, just because we have so much to core. We are exactly at 100 overextension. Hopefully not on the wrong side of that. Let's set Morocco to be an enemy. Alrighty. And with that, I believe I'm going to briefly pump the brakes on our adventure as the Pope into the Kingdom of God. We started, well, as the Pope in the center of Rome, cleaned up Naples, cleaved through the Balkans, cleaved through the Ottomans, cleaved into the Levant, and finally swept up into North Italy. growing an absolutely gigantic Austrian ally along the way, as well as a slightly unstable Castile, and even Poland, our somewhat fickle ally, is doing quite well. So, the Catholic world is strong. Everything from, well, every chance to challenge the heathens and the heretics. Yes, I've made it. So truly, been a lot of fun. But if you want to see more of the Kingdom of God, leave a comment down below, and we will finish off this mission tree and take it to its logical conclusion, at least cleaning up France. Um, Otherwise, if you enjoyed Europa Expanded, Missions Expanded, whatever this one is called, I'll be putting it up on the screen. Say so in the comments. Leave your opinion in the comments. Give it a like, a comment, and subscribe. You know, all the wonderful YouTube pleasantries. Thank you very much for your eyes, ears, and time. This has been Brown Dog 2, signing out.